I'm ready to converse, predicting a verdict. I know what you're trying to say, you don't know how to word it. I know what you're gonna say to the facts, you're allergic. I like what you said there, did you have to rehearse it? Such a canned response. Who's the GOAT now? The victory's talking, let me give you the lowdown. You ain't as sweet, I'm calling shots from the low ground. My source is concrete, like LeBron in the post now. The time's arrived to reply. You're looking for my opinion, I will gladly oblige. Cause when the verdict comes in and speculation subsides, we just let the people decide. And I just hope it hurts, 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 hurts. And I just hope it hurts, 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 hurts.
Yo, what's going on, bro?
It was good, bruh. Another day, another dollar. And today is really another dollar.
For a lot of people.
Of a whole lot of people getting another dollar today.
Nick Foles just got 88.
We got so much news coming in. I got 2 phones.
Boy, what you doing on the sad, man? You don't need them phones.
Hey,
all you need is
I
one
got
phone.
2 phones. I got 2 phones, for info coming in.
You don't need all that, man. Whatever you doing on the side, all you need is a Google Voice number, bro.
Hey, I feel important. Leave me alone.
Whatever, dog.
Hey man, we got so much stuff popping off. That's why I love this time of year, man. When both of us, I think we agree, we love to see players get their money. Like when you see a player cash in, you may not always agree with it, but at the end of the day, you like, more power to you, respect, set your family up. And this that time of year where you seeing guys get paid left and right. You're gonna see some shockers, you're gonna see some like, yeah, we got a couple of those we're gonna hit on in a sec, but just overall, man, the NFL free agency, the dollars getting thrown around. The thing that I like the most is you starting to finally see NFL players, the top players, get paid like top players in other sports, where they get big money, whereas before it was never like that, including running backs. Even running backs are starting to get paid, man. So it's been crazy. Today gonna be all about football because it's the hot point right now. No bigger news though. We're gonna start off with no bigger news whatsoever. And my man, AB. Man, what you think about this trade, this new contract? I mean, 3 years, 54 mil a year, 54.125 a year, come out to be 18 point something, a little bit above OBJ. What you think, man?
As a Chiefs fan, I hate it, but as a casual fan and looking at what AB did for himself, like I said before, I hate the way he went about it. But, man, he won. Like, this is what NBA players do, and it's going to set a standard for more top-tier players in NFL to try to force their way to where they want to go, even if your contract is not up. Not only did he get to where he wanted to go, but he got a damn pay increase. You can't beat that, So
30 mil guaranteed.
Right. He wasn't getting that with the Steelers. And so, I'm happy for him. The Raiders still got a lot more work to do, but the Raiders definitely won this trade. I mean, a third and a fifth for Antonio Brown. Are you serious, dog? That reminds me of when the Patriots got Randy Moss for a 4th round pick. I mean, it really does. And then the Raiders turned around. Right, and then the Raiders turned around and traded their guard for a 5th round. So they really didn't lose much to get this guy. To me, he's the number 1 receiver in the league. There's nobody better than him. He runs all the routes. He's the best receiver. So Raiders won the trade, and so did AB.
Man, I love this, man. I know I keep saying it. I said it a lot on last show. I was beating the table about it, but I love the fact that he controlling his destiny. Like, I want to see more guys, and I know that you got to be a certain caliber to do this.
Right.
But I believe that as those high caliber guys continue to do this, because AB did it, Le'Veon just did it, Aaron Donald and Khalil Mack, they both was like, we ain't coming nowhere near a facility until we get cashed out,
Yeah.
If these guys continue to force the league's hand, while it takes the big dogs to do it, what's going to happen is it's a trickle down effect to where those guys who can't do it start getting paid because the gap can't be too wide. So
Right.
I love the fact that that they're doing this, man. Like it's really helping out. When they eat, everybody eat, basically. You know, that domino effect. And so him going there where he chose, man, if you are a Raiders fan, you got to be happy because, you know, as I was speaking with one Raiders fan, we gonna touch on him in a minute. But speaking with one Raiders fan, he was unhappy, you know, with the deal. He thought it was a risky move because, you know, throughout history you see guys move from one organization to another where they establish in this organization, they built their legacy there and all that, and then they struggle in others. And
Man, hold up. Tell Zach I said he need to take whatever he can get. I know that's what you're talking about. Whatever you can get, Zach, you need to be thankful.
Like he ain't gonna see this. You gonna tell me to tell him.
You need to be thankful, Zach.
But look, man, it's like my thing. He said the only team that he could think of in recent years, which he has a point where they've done this that's had success with the player, is the Patriots, and that player just so be Randy Moss.
Right.
You know, which he has a point. But my argument to that is, unlike Randy Moss being in Oakland, he didn't want to be there. AB chose to be there. And even when AB ain't happy, AB balling. Because he wasn't happy in Pittsburgh for the last couple of years, and he still left it all on the field. He's just that type of guy, that type of competitor, a hard worker. He can't help himself. Even if he want to tank, he still can't do it. He got to put it all out there. So AB going to be good. But what I love most about this is AB controlled the entire scenario so much that not only did he pick his team, he also made it to where the team could get him for cheap because he eliminated all competition, saying, I'm not going to play for you, or you. And by eliminating competition, the Steelers didn't have leverage. And without leverage, the Raiders was able to get him for basically a third-round pick. And so when you're able to do that, you now have set the Raiders up because the Raiders, they still have 3 firsts and a second-round pick that you really can call a first because it's number 35 overall. It's 3 picks out of the first round, where in the top 10 of the second round is nothing but first-round talent that just slid. So you're getting 4 first-round picks, and you didn't have to lose any of those to get AB. That's the most impressive part about all this. And then my man got paid on top of that. $30 million guaranteed from a $54 million contract. Gotta salute.
This is another thing. The situation that he's going to, you know, John Gruden, you can argue whatever it is that you want to say about him, but there's going to be a respect factor there with AB.
Yeah.
Now, I don't expect AB to be 100% under control. He's done with that. People are not going to disrespect him, but he also has got a young quarterback in Derek Carr who has been horrible the last 2 seasons. Let me be clear, because if he's horrible again, AB is going to set the place on fire. But the Raiders need to find out what Derek Carr is. And by doing this, you can find out he's going to want to work with AB. I guarantee you in the next couple of weeks, you're going to hear a report that they out here throwing balls together.
They already have.
Exactly. And the thing is, that's what Antonio Brown wants to do anyways. He wants to work. Derek Carr is professional, responsible quarterback. He just hasn't played well. He's going to get to work with AB. So I'm very interested to see what happens with them because the Raiders need to know if they have their quarterback right now. And it's a good fit because Derek Carr is going to be beyond happy to get a number 1 receiver again. Because we saw him last year. He just dinking, dunking, you know what I'm saying, everywhere.
Yeah.
How's Jared Cook, your number 1 receiver, man? That days is over.
Yeah. You know what? The thing about this whole dynamic with Derek Carr is Derek Carr and Antonio Brown actually get along really well. You know, they friendship started in the Pro Bowl a couple years ago. And they get like if you follow the whole thing from the very beginning, they joking around on Twitter and laughing and having fun, like stuff that you've never seen him do with Ben Roethlisberger. You know, there's already a relationship there. And then, as you mentioned, Derek Carr will work. You know, Derek Carr is, and like I said, you know, before, Derek Carr to me, he's not a bad quarterback. He's just not that upper echelon, what you want quarterback. But if you put the right pieces around him, he's good enough to win, you know, and he's gonna work, you know. So when you have Antonio Brown who comes in and that's all about the work, and a John Gruden who is all about practice, you know, John Gruden, not only is he a hard worker himself, but you got to think about what he's used to dealing with, the legends he's dealt with. This man has coached Jerry Rice, Brett Favre, the Bucks. Like, he's used to working with legends that put in work, you know. So now that you bring in Antonio Brown, I think the entire situation makes sense. And like I said, what makes it even better is the fact that Antonio Brown made himself so affordable. They still can get better and fill a lot of holes through the draft. And on top of that, they came into this offseason with $70 million in cap space. Yeah, they just gave a lot to Trent Brown, which we're going to touch on in a sec. And they just gave a lot to Antonio Brown. But all that money they gave them doesn't all pour into this year. They still have a lot of cap left over to make a lot of moves. And this is one of the most loaded free agencies I've seen in a while, from safety, which they need, to edge rusher, which they need, to
they
guard.
Need everything. It's everything.
I can still see them make a few more splash moves where they get 2 more impact players, whether it be in the trenches or in the secondary or the edge. I can still see them getting at least 2 more guys in there.
Or running back. We joked about this last week.
It was a joke, but it wasn't a joke, because it was like you could see it happening, but now you're seeing it. It makes sense of why we were seeing it.
We said that they could end up with the Colts.
Yeah.
But you knew the Steelers wouldn't trade AB to the Colts. So we're like, nah. Then we said the Raiders. And now look.
Made sense.
This makes sense. They got all that money. That's what we were talking about. And I guarantee you, what this signals for me, mostly for John Gruden, that whole 10-year plan is out the fucking window. He's done with that. He's tired of losing.
Yeah.
He took 1 year of losing. Now he's like, look, man, I'm trying to win now. Because that's the old Al Davis way. They want to win now, forget the future. We're trying to win. And it would not surprise me at all if Le'Veon Bell gets a fat-ass contract with the Raiders. It would not surprise me. It makes sense.
I mean, it's being said right now that there is legitimate interest in Le'Veon, which why wouldn't there be? The Rams got Todd Gurley, and I'm sure they're interested in Le'Veon. You know what I'm saying? Every team is interested in Le'Veon, but they can actually do it, and they have a need for it, you know? Yeah. And I look at it and I say the insaneness of this whole thing, because it really is insane to think that this team can go from what they just was to having Antonio Brown, to having Le'Veon Bell, to having a good enough quarterback, to having a left tackle. I was just about to say, to having a left tackle, and they still got Gabe Jackson, who's probably one of the top 3 guards in the NFL. You know, so they have certain pieces in place to where now they can start going out and that in free agency, and they ain't got to get, if they could get a Le'Veon, that is, they don't have to go for all the big names now. Now they can just fill in the holes. Right. They can fill in the holes. It's literally a flip all in one season where it all started with what you said, John Gruden. He said, yeah, Khalil, you good, but I got other stuff to do. And he got rid of Khalil. He got rid of Amari. And now you're starting to see the plan coming to fruition. If they can get Le'Veon, like Le'Veon's best fit, no question, is the Colts. It's about the best fit, because they have a line right now that might be the best in the NFL. Then you got Andrew Luck, who really is an upgrade over Ben Roethlisberger. And then you have a better structure around him, where the coaching is better. You got better leadership. You got legit workers like himself, because Le'Veon is also another one of those insane hard workers, But on top of all that, the Colts have a defense, a really good defense. So don't have that. They don't have that. And Steelers definitely didn't have a defense, So if you're talking about the best fit, it's the Colts. If you talk about what makes sense, I would say the Raiders make sense. I would say the Eagles make sense. Those are the 2 teams I think makes the most sense for Le'Veon.
I would argue the Chiefs.
I knew you was going to say that. I knew you was going to say it. And
I'm the KC, man.
The crazy thing about it is, I ain't want to say nothing when we was last on the air, but right before we came on air, Le'Veon was on social media, poking around, talking about joining the Chiefs and all this other. Le'Veon throwing a lot of smoke out there, and it's some fire behind one of these smoke he signals he tossing. I'll be pissed if he went to the Chiefs.
I would love it. And we need defense. Let me be clear. We need defense, man.
Yeah.
But if you really want to help your defense with an offensive signing, it is a running game. You get a running game where we don't score 24 points in 3 minutes anymore. We still have that capability of being able to sustain drives and keep that sorry defense off the field will help. So
what I have said in the past is my opinion is the Chiefs' biggest weakness is Pat Mahomes ain't got no common sense. He don't know how to meticulously move down the
field. Chill out. Don't say that shit. Nah, he don't taking that disrespect.
He don't know how to meticulously move down the field.
I'm not trying to hear that. That defense was horrible. The man averaged over 35 points in his losses. I don't accept that shit.
On the first play every time.
You scored, dog. Your defense got to stop, man. You scored 31 points. You're supposed to win.
Man,
don't say that about Mahomes, dog. I don't accept that one.
I know you don't. That's that homerism.
Whatever, dog. That's facts. You score, your defense and stop. It'll help him to slow him down. But my goodness, how many points he got to score?
Look, his point total is fine. You can score, but don't score so fast. And if you got a Le'Veon, that's what would happen. You're going to get a more controlled environment to where you ain't allowing teams to beat you off a last-second field goal or a last-minute drive or none of that. You ain't even putting your defense in that situation because you're controlling it. And I would be pissed if I seen it because I would have to hear from you every damn day if Le'Veon was there. So, no, Le'Veon, listen. Do not go there. If you go there, it will hurt me.
Nobody care about you, dog. Nobody care about you.
Take your ass to the Colts, Eagles, or Raiders. Go somewhere, anywhere but there.
Nah, man. You know where he should go? Just to hurt you, dog? Seattle. Let's go to Seattle and play the Rams. Yeah, I know you got your head down so I can see the Nike check hairline. Yeah, that shit hurt. That thought hurt a lot. I hope it happens, nigga.
Yeah, that would hurt a lot. I wouldn't even watch football.
Yeah, you would. And you'll be talking about how it don't matter. The Rams still gonna win now, nigga. Le'Veon, 30 carries, 215 yards.
Damn.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Le'Veon is in position, and I love it. He in position to finally cash out, get what he deserves. Like Le'Veon to put so much wear and tear on one person's body over and over and over, year in and year out. Le'Veon is getting 300 carries and then another 100 receptions. Like that's a lot, And then he ain't just getting it, but he's producing with it. And the fact that he continues to produce, he continues to be just a dog. And on top of all that, he's still one of the hardest workers in the NFL.
He's fresh now.
Well, legit, you have to, and he's very fresh after a year off. And he's still young. People forget how young Le'Veon is, man, because it feels like he's been in the league forever. But Le'Veon, he left after his junior year at Michigan State, but he was only 20 years old when he got drafted. Le'Veon is still young. He's 26. Like the man he still got years left and he's fresh. Le'Veon, get paid. You earn this. But speaking of getting paid, right now as we speak, a lot of guys getting paid. Some of the craziest signings, Landon Collins, he then cashed in with the Redskins, 6 years, $84 million. 84. Officially the highest paid safety in the NFL on a yearly basis, and $45 million guaranteed through the first 3 years. Man,
it's a lot of money, man.
That man cashed in.
Hey, he's good though. Goddamn,
he's good. Yeah, he's good, but damn, he cashed in.
I think he's gonna hold up his bargain of that contract, but the problem is they just don't have a quarterback.
They don't have a quarterback.
Alex Smith's hurt.
Yeah, Alex Smith.
They just got,
might be over.
Yeah, they just got what's the name from Denver?
Oh, Case Keenum. Yeah. So anyway,
they still don't have a quarterback.
Anyway,
yeah, no quarterback for you, Washington.
Yeah. Anyway,
that shit hurt.
That shit definitely hurt somebody's soul.
Case Keenum. He on a new team every year, ain't
My man Case, hey, he cashing in though. Case getting them dollars.
he? Hey, salute to you, Case Keenum, dog. You cashed out. You have
You're
really
right, cash in, but nah.
maxed
Case
out what you could do, man.
Right, Case Keenum ain't the answer, man, at all.
No,
But however,
no.
you talking about my bad, I got distracted there. Some news just came in where Deshaun Jackson is back with the Eagles. Again, another person who forced their hand, more power to you.
Did it
But
say how much he got paid?
not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, he's back with the Eagles.
Probably ain't much.
Yeah, probably ain't, but I'm happy to see another person on the move. But here's the thing, all right? You talk about Landon Collins. Like, I had to take a deep breath before I dove into this because I think you know where I'm about to go. You talk about Landon Collins getting, $84 million over 6 years. Landon Collins, yeah, could he be better in coverage? Yeah, but the man is a baller. He's a leader. I think that it's good. I think it's good for him, But then you got Nick Foles, probably the most obvious signing. Everyone knew this was happening in November. The league was week 8, Nick Foles has agreed to terms with the Jaguars. 4 years, 88 million a year, 88 million over 4 years, 22 million a year, 50 million guaranteed.
He maxed out, man. He is not that damn good, bro. More power to you, Nick Foles.
50 million guaranteed.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, hold on, man. We got to take a break in action. Get that man Nick Foles a round of applause.
Yeah, bro. Nick Foles,
he just robbed their ass.
Yeah, he ain't that damn good, dog. They gonna see.
But again,
you better get him some help.
Again, players getting their money. You love seeing players get their money, but from a business perspective, it's like, damn. That man just cashed in. 4 years, 88 million and 20, that's 22 million a year, and then 50 million guaranteed.
That's the number that matters. That
50 million guaranteed. That man cashed in, but it is what it is, man. No hate to him whatsoever. They definitely got to get him some more help, though. He needs playmakers around him. They have a good run blocking line, but they need some pass blockers. There's no balance on their line at all. But just overall, I think it's a good situation for him because of the type of offense they're willing to run. They're going to pound the ball, and they're not going to ask him to win too many games. They're just going to ask him not to lose it, which I think he's capable of. However, his most success has come in the RPO. When you give him a run pass option, that man is lights out. He's not afraid to take shots.
Leonard Fournette, this is your time to be disciplined, dog. Yeah. It's time for Leonard Fournette to stop playing around. Get in shape. And now it's time, because if he balls, he's one of the main reasons why that defense wasn't as good as they've been.
Yeah.
Because their offense was so awful with the turnovers and everything that they were doing. I honestly believe that Jaguars defense was looking across the field like, man, we can't win with this offense. And I know how that feeling is. I played on teams with a horrible offense, and it just lets your defense down. But when you know you got a guy that can win, you amped up. You play a whole lot better because all you got to do is stay close.
Facts. And I actually watched that defense go out and ball last year and lose a game 16-10. Like that hurts when you playing that hard and you hold it. This is the NFL, man. It ain't easy to hold teams to 16 points. And you go out and play that hard and lose. It's like that kills you. It kills your morale. It drains you. It's a tough pill to swallow. So I understand the frustration. But again, if Leonard Fournette can come in there in shape, motivated, disciplined, get along with the coaches, I don't understand that, man. Like, you got a very easy job right now. Your one simple job is accept as much as we'll give you.
and they added Thomas Rawls.
Yeah.
They should be able to run on anybody next season.
The thing that I like about them, though, is they have two very sneaky good receivers. They not the biggest receivers, and they, they names ain't as big. But if you know anything about D.D. Westbrook, first off, if you watch anything of him at Oklahoma, when you watched him at Oklahoma, all you could see was Deshaun Jackson. That's all you saw was another Deshaun Jackson. He looked like him, built like him, and plays like him. And then when he finally got healthy last year, you saw him be that guy again, a legitimate deep threat that can just take anyone to the house. And then you have Keelan Cole, who's very similar, not quite as fast, not quite as good overall, but he's very similar. He complements what D.D. Westbrook is. The reason those two players are so important is because if you are running the ball successful, play action, and letting it rip, which Nick Foles loves to do,
gone.
Got yourself a winning formula. So it really all again comes down on Leonard Fournette. A few more guys, to touch on here. We mentioned earlier Trent Brown. Trent Brown, he just he got moved over to the Raiders, which was amazing because coming from the Patriots, Trent Brown was a 7th-round pick, man. A 7th-round pick by the 49ers. And then you fast forward a few years, and this man has worked himself up to not only be a Super Bowl champion and a starting left tackle protecting Tom Brady, but now you cashing in on a massive deal with the Oakland Raiders. Hey man, another round of applause. I love watching players get paid, especially when they earned it like him. When you see a player earn it like him, you can't do nothing but tip your hat to him, man. Real quick before we dive into a few more of these, I want to give a shout out to Frank Gore, man. Frank Gore he's from this man is 36 years old. He'll be 36 when the season starts.
That man's 46. He's been in the league since we was born, dog.
Right.
God.
My man just signed with the Bills. Like he keep getting contracts. Frank Gore has 14,748 rushing yards. That's just rushing.
He's trying to get to the Hall of Fame.
That's what I see. He like, look, if I ain't gonna win a ring, the least I could do is take Emmitt's spot. Total yards, that man got 18,544 yards. The past 2 seasons at 34 and 35 years old, he rushed for 966 yards and 722. How you still rushing for that many yards on a shared backfield? With the Dolphins, he shared it with 2 other guys.
He's going to get 3 to 4 yards every carry, man.
Frank Gore is just legitimate. He already was a Hall of Famer if he would have chose to retire at the end of his 49ers career. But he chose he wouldn't have been first ballot, but he was a Hall of Famer. Okay. Now he's played another 4 years and continues to produce. He even got a 1,000-yard season mixed in there at 33 years old. Frank Gore with the Colts. Frank Gore is just the epitome of just that constant success. And I love to see guys who every year they say you can't do it. They say you're too old, you done. Adrian Peterson did it last year. They say, you're too old, you lost a step, this, that. They come up with every reason to down you, and you continue to prove them wrong. You continue to get contracts, and with those contracts, you just go out there and do what you got to do. I love saying that. Shout out to Frank Gore. You with the Bills. It'd have been nice if you had AB there. Too soon?
That wouldn't have worked. It'd
have been nice if you had AB there. Too soon, but I know Buffalo's still hurting, but I hope it hurt too.
Right. Nobody care about Buffalo, man.
Right, man. Ain't nobody really tripping off them. But overall, man, I'm loving what I'm seeing, man. The money is getting tossed around. I've seen some crazy deals out there, but it's definitely getting tossed around. But, Kenny Vaccaro, I didn't really, the Titans then kicked out 4 years, $26 million to him. Yeah, I know you need a safety, but I felt like you probably could have did better. Here's the deal that I was actually surprised by. When you talk about the slot in today's NFL, you talk about it really being so vital. Like, it's not like it was just even a few years ago. I think the Patriots took the slot position and took it to a whole nother level. And for that reason, now you don't even see 3 linebackers on the field that often. You see 2 linebackers with a nickel corner because the slot is so important now. Right. And so you talk about slot receivers, I feel like now they're becoming the new running back. They get a lot of work. They get a lot of targets as the slot guy, but they not getting paid like those other guys. And the perfect example would be Jamison Crowder. Jamison Crowder just signed with the Jets. 4 years, $28 million, only $7 million a year, man. And
That's
it blows
probably
me.
the best he could do.
And that's my point. It blows me away that you're talking about Jamison Crowder, one of the best slot receivers in the NFL, and the best that a slot guy can do is even, Edelman is probably a bad example because he plays with the Patriots and they don't pay nobody.
Right.
But everywhere you look, the slot receivers, they continue to get overlooked, man. They're not getting cashed out. It's an interesting dynamic that I was wondering if it was going to continue because there was a lot of talk about him and a couple other slot guys this offseason about if they would get paid the good money, talking about finally reaching an average of 10 million, double digits a year. If they're going to win 10, $11 million a year, it look like it still ain't happening, man. So
Nope.
I'm still looking to see where that's going to go. So far, what's a free agent signing that really stood out to you?
Oh, the Raiders. The Raiders won, getting Trent Brown, because that O-line was shaky, and they do it. And the reason why it was a big deal for me is because it's the day after they get AB, so it confirmed what I thought when I heard AB might be going to the Raiders. I said, man, I've said that John Gruden was kind of building that team for Vegas. He's trying to win now.
Yeah.
Now I don't feel like the Raiders are going to win next year. When I say they're not going to win, I mean like they're not going to the AFC Championship game and win the Super Bowl. I wouldn't. No way in hell. They still need work, but they are clearly trying to win 9-10 games next season. Which, if they keep going, is very realistic. So that signing to me was the biggest signing because they needed it, and they needed it in the worst way.
Yeah, and and the first thing that happens with free agency is you see the absolute top names get hit the hardest. Those are guys you start seeing flying all over the place. Then you see all offense go. But real quick, let's switch over to your bread and butter, the defensive side, linebacker particularly. There's a lot of linebackers on the open market this year, from Quan Alexander, C.J. Mosley, Brandon Marshall, really good linebackers.
I know.
Quan Alexander didn't already sign with the 49ers. He agreed that this was a massive deal that they just gave him. So that tells you where the market is for linebackers this year. 49ers gave Quan Alexander, who's a really good linebacker, 4 years, $54 million contract, 27 guaranteed. So they about to cash out. Who was you about to say?
I want C.J. Mosley in the Chiefs uniform.
You want everybody.
Him particular. I want him particular because he was you never see Baltimore let go of guys that they draft. Like they normally keep you for forever, basically.
This is rare.
It's very rare. I wanted him to get Eric Weddle, but he's already gone. He made his decision quickly. But C.J. Mosley, I feel like is perfect for what we're trying to do because we're going to this 4-3 cover 2 defense, and you need speed. One of the things the Chiefs lack is speed on defense, man. That's why Justin Houston is gone. He's slow, and he's a DN. He's not a linebacker. So I really want the Chiefs to go after C.J. Mosley, man, and to get better in the draft. But that C.J. Mosley is who I want.
You know what? C.J. Mosley, when you just want to talk about a player who's that's the as good as he is, he's fast, he's physical, he's so good just athletically. But the thing they talked about the most, you already know, when he was coming out of Alabama was how smart he was. And it shows every single Sunday. The whole reason the Ravens went to the playoffs this year is because in the final game against the Browns, which was a hell of a game, that game came down to the last minute. It ended on an interception that C.J. Mosley got. And the way he got that pick, first off, it should have been impossible. He shouldn't have been able to catch it. That just shows his athletic ability. But C.J. Mosley, pre-snap read, told him exactly what it was going to be. He was supposed to blitz. So he went for the blitz. The lineman stepped in. He said, you know what? Halfway through his blitz, I ain't going to get there in time. This man flashed out of the picture. Baker Mayfield said, this is my chance. And he flashed back in the picture, backpedaling probably a 4.6 and went up and picked it. It was beautiful, man, but it was all pre-snap. You see him calling it out before the snap even happened. C.J. Mosley is unbelievably smart. Football IQ out of this world, man. And I think that when you talk about C.J. Mosley going to a Chiefs team with really, really needs an upgrade on defense, if you bring in a C.J. Mosley, he makes everyone better. Yeah. I would love to see him with the Rams. The Rams need an inside linebacker. There's a lot of teams that need a linebacker right now.
And he can play all three. He's so fast.
He can play any scheme.
Right.
He can play any
scheme. Man, he can do it all.
The man can blitz. He can cover. He play the run. He does sideline to sideline. He does it all. CJ Mosley, man, I'm hoping that you get paid. If Quan Alexander got 54, I want to know what CJ get, because if he gets less, he's been robbed. Unless he takes a discount for a better situation, which I understand, man. He's smart. Nah.
Trying to win a Super Bowl, man.
Nah.
On the KC, man. Le'Veon Bell and CJ Mosley in the Chiefs uniform. I like that.
Nah, man, I'm good on that. Real quick, man, before we dive into our top three, because y'all know we had to bring you another top three list. Odell Beckham Jr., man. There's so much smoke with this trade talk. And the Giants, they really not really trying to blow out these flames, man. They almost fanning him. You know, I think they tired of him personally, because the whole regime that's there they're just very old school. And I'm wondering if they just simply want to start fresh with him, you know, get rid of him, get a new receiver in there. And they're talking about trading again. Last year, it was a big conversation. Was he going to, they was talking about trading him to the Rams, and I forget the other team. It was another team who was in the bid for him. Ultimately, it didn't happen. And now the conversation is back again. And they're saying that there's about 4 or 5 teams that's been calling the Giants, and the Giants are listening to calls. What's your thoughts on
trade Eli Manning? Shit. Get a quarterback. God damn, I don't understand this, dog. Like, why do you want to get rid of OBJ, man? I understand he can be somewhat of a problem, but last season, he was pretty much straight, and he always produces despite the sorry quarterback they have.
Yeah.
New York, let Eli go. Put his ass in retirement. The best thing they ever did was not starting him that one game. When he decided he wasn't going to start, that was the best thing for you. Get rid of his old ass. He's not winning a Super Bowl no more. It's time to move on. Now, if you're going to keep him next season, make sure you get a quarterback that can replace him, kind of like what the Chiefs did with Mahomes.
Right.
But, dude, don't trade OBJ until you at least see him with a quarterback. He's done all this with a sorry quarterback. Eli Manning is sorry. He has the most interceptions since he stepped in the league. And, I mean, and it's recent. Like, he's damn near 50 years old, and he's still throwing over 20 interceptions. How are you not able to read defenses at this point? I'm tired of Eli Manning, bro. I don't like the Giants at all. And I'm speaking for you. Move on. Shit.
Listen.
God.
This rant, it ain't over, because it's my turn.
Keep it going, man.
Like,
it's garbage.
I can't stand Eli Manning. I think he is the most overrated quarterback in NFL history. Let me repeat that for any Giants fans. Eli Manning is the most overrated quarterback in NFL history, because if he had any other last name, Eli would have been out forever ago. I watched this man have back-to-back seasons where he completed less than 60% of his passes. This man, in 2012, 2013, this man completed 59% and 57%. Neither season did he go over 4,000 yards passing. The man is an interception machine. 2013, the man threw 27 interceptions. He's had, listen. Tell me another quarterback that keeps their job if their last name isn't Manning, where you have three seasons where you have over 20 interceptions.
No, they have him on this pedestal because they beat the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl. But you gotta look at the whole. Thank you. You gotta look at the whole body of work. What did he actually do? He made some clutch plays. I give him that. But the rest of his career, man, get out of here, dog. Move on.
This man has lost 55 fumbles and thrown 239 interceptions. God, the man has listen, in his career, he has 300 turnovers. Listen, he only has 360 passing touchdowns. No one else in history would still have been the quarterback of the New York Giants if their name was not Manning. This man is living off of his brother and his dad's legacy 150,000%.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that because he won 2 Super Bowls. I feel like that's what he's living off of.
He won.
New York don't care about your name. We know that. They kind of know that, but they also got him up here on this pedestal because they won the game and he made some plays. All right, I don't give the name thing, but man,
talking heads call Eli great, and I say how? How can you possibly call this man great? He's so inconsistent. He's not a good quarterback. He's never been some great quarterback. Eli Manning has never been a top 10 quarterback ever. At no point in his career has he ever been top 10. I mean, I've seen him make some throws where I'm like, well, damn, I could have did that. Man, Eli's garbage, straight boo-boo. Like, I don't know how else to put it, man. I'm getting annoyed talking about it because I get tired of them showing so much love to him. But I see Jameis Winston have an offseason. It's like, oh, well, we got to get rid of him. Man, kiss my ass. Man,
he's had
kiss my ass.
Season. That is a normal Eli Manning season.
Kiss my ass. They was all look at Jameis. Look how good he's playing. He get a little banged up. He had his some demons from his college days come back onto him. That's his own fault. And he has an off season. It's like, oh well, get rid of him. That's why I fucks with Bruce Arians, because Bruce Arians stepped in there and was like, nah, I'm keeping him. Like, I see a good quarterback in this kid. Eli, on the other hand, can play like trash. And they still like, oh, we gotta bring him back. Man, get the hell out of here, man. Eli ain't shit. I'm standing on that. He ain't never been shit. He ain't never gonna be shit. Like, Eli ain't fucking Eli, man. Eli.
Hold up, man. A year he threw 27 interceptions. He only threw 18 touchdowns.
Eli
18 touchdowns, 27 interceptions. How do you keep your job, man?
Eli's garbage. Hot, straight, boo-boo, poo-butt garbage. Like, I'm done with Eli, man. Get him out of there. Get Kyler Murray or Dwayne Haskins or somebody. Hell, trade for Josh Rosen. Get somebody in there, but that motherfucker got to go. I'm standing up. Like,
hold up. Now that you even talking about a legend, man, I know you can rant for another 20 minutes. We ain't going to do that. Talking about a legend that somebody should get rid of. Me and you joked about this. I know this is not on script. But since we here, dog, we might as well speak on it, man.
I wasn't joking.
I wasn't joking neither, because it might actually be better for them if they don't get finished. But the Lakers considering trading LeBron. Really? We never thought about that, but when I said it, I said, you know what? I'm just playing around. I can't see this happening. But if they don't get a top free agent, why are you keeping him? Because you see what happened this season. What do you think his mindset going to be for the next 3 years with these boys, man? He'll probably retire before he keep playing. But what you think, dog?
Hey, get that poo butt.
There you go.
I'm playing. I ain't going to call him no poo butt. I got more respect for that. But get his punk ass out.
So disrespectful, man.
Hey. Man, you know what? He earned some disrespect, man. I don't care what the situation is. You are LeBron fucking James. You came to a team that won 35 games, and now y'all about to win 30 with you? What? You can say whatever you want. You can talk about, oh, is he supposed to? Yes, motherfucker, he's supposed to do that. Don't ask me, is he supposed to carry the team? Yes, he's supposed to carry the team. Basketball is one of the few sports where one person in a team game can dominate so much that you completely change the fortunes of the entire team. It's not a lot of times you get to do that. This motherfucker is blessed with the ability to do this, and he can do it. He literally packed it in before the Lakers decided to pack it in. The Lakers just packed it in when they said, Kuzma, we sitting you. Lonzo, we sitting you. They packed it in. This dude packed it in.
Lonzo's father told him to pack it in until Luke Walton's gone.
He's smart.
That's what happened.
Hey,
that's what happened.
People can criticize LeVar all they want. This dude has been very smart through it so far. Everything he has said has come to fruition.
It really has.
Do not disagree with him saying, son, you're not playing for anything. Fall back. LeBron has killed y'all. Like, if you can trade LeBron, man, because you can trade him. But if that's a real discussion, I would trade LeBron and set myself up for the next 15 years, flat out. Because if you trade LeBron, you better believe it's probably going to be a 3-team trade because one team can't afford it by themselves. So with a 3-team trade, you probably coming away with 6 first-round draft picks. One of those teams you're gonna have the picking of your choosing. So it'll be a sorry situation. I send his ass to the Suns or the Knicks or something where I know I'm gonna get a top.
That's not gonna happen.
I know I'm gonna get a top pick.
Go
get Zion.
He will not play for them, dog. It won't happen.
He ain't got no trade clause. He got to go wherever they say.
No, he's just like AB. He'll be like, Sons, yeah, I'm retired. That trade is done. You're going to have to trade him to the top team that he wants to go to.
You know how much he loved New York? He was thinking about playing there at one point anyway.
Yo, he will never go to New York because of how they did Melo. And a lot of those guys are still there. I know that his guy is the coach now, but a lot of the front office is still there.
Yeah.
Phil is gone, but that front office is still there. He will never play for New York because of how they did Carmelo. So
look,
just forget that. Man. Forget that.
If you can get rid of LeBron, which I don't think people understand. People see how hard I go on LeBron, and they don't understand how much it pisses me off to say if you can get rid of LeBron, because you should never even let those words leave your mouth. But you have to. You have to in this situation because he's not helping you in any way. He's literally making it worse. He's making it so bad that you have to literally sit here and say, you need to get rid of the best player of this generation.
I'm telling you, man, if they don't get a top free agent, I see no reason in keeping him, man. I hate to say that, but I don't, because he's not the type of guy at this point of his career to take those young guys in the gym and work like the Warriors did and build them up, because they could. But that's not going to happen. Has he ever been that guy? That's what I'm saying, man. So that's what I'm saying. If they don't get a free agent, they should really consider it, dog. That's messed up. It's crazy to even think so. But
it's not, though. It sucks that you have to think that way because, again, you talk about the best player of this generation. But you have no choice because I don't care. Every LeBron fan out there, no one can dispute this. You cannot get LeBron James on your team that won 35 games and then only be sitting at 30 with 16 games left. That don't make sense.
They're going to tell you how he was injured. He missed 18 games.
Unless LeBron missed half the season. Unless LeBron missed half the season, there is literally he only missed 17 games. They be talking like LeBron missed 30 games. He missed 17 games, man. That's it. 17 games.
I don't understand how he gained that much weight while he was injured.
Because, man, do you see his Instagram? LeBron be eating and drinking. Eating. That's what he do, man.
And see, the thing is, when you're out for that amount of time, normally it'll take a couple weeks to get back to normal.
Yeah,
he's still not normal. That means whatever rehab he was doing, it wasn't enough, man. Because I know you can't really run and sprint when you pull a groin or hamstring. We know that, but man, you can walk. You cannot eat as much. You can cut your calories down. He got people that can make him food. Like, how did you gain 20 pounds in 6 weeks?
Let me say this. Now, again, I agree with you. You have people and all this other stuff, but coming from a person with a frame where it's easy to pack on weight. See, some people are easy to put on weight. Some people
I know.
struggle to gain weight.
With it now. I need to lose 30 pounds.
We, LeBron James included, you, me, LeBron James included, we all got that frame where we naturally put on weight. And we can shed that weight. We can shed it. Exactly, because of our frame. LeBron is a person who, if LeBron was just a regular dude, still 6'8", just walking around, LeBron James is 280. It's that simple, because that's his natural frame. LeBron James has to work to be 240, 250, 260, So it's natural. So if you're not doing as much, even with the food you eat and everything, if you're not doing as much as you're doing over the course of 6 weeks, I think he missed, you gonna put on 20 pounds, man. Like with that
Nah,
type.
man, I'm not trying to hear that because he's a professional, dog. He got advantages we
He
can't even think of. Somebody
is.
can literally count his calories all day long, and he don't have to think about it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm
That's
not.
true.
I'm not trying to hear that shit. Nah, I don't
That's
take
true.
that
That's
excuse.
I ain't arguing it. That's true. He
I
do.
could
He
see. I could see
especially when you paying $1
5 pounds.
million a year for a trainer. Like what the hell is that trainer doing, man?
Right. Well, no. What is he doing? Because he's a grown man, dog. That trainer
Yeah.
probably got him doing what he's supposed to do. He probably sneaking some shit. He got on that mellow workout. That's what happened. Started hanging
LeBron,
with him.
listen, man.
Taking
LeBron
heroin
James packed
advice.
it
You
in.
out of
I
shape.
keep saying it. LeBron is not the same player, and I don't mean physically because physically he's still explosive. He's just not the same player where he's still working hard. LeBron James said it himself. I don't have to prove nothing else. I'm just playing just to play at this point. He said he got his championships. LeBron don't give a fuck no more. It's that simple, and it sucks because you
He
only
already said. He already said he think he the GOAT.
yeah, he only 34. LeBron James should still be able to put out at least another 3 years of high production. But LeBron don't care. When I say high production, a lot of stupid people are gonna say, "Oh, well, he averaging 27, 8, and 8 right now." That ain't what I'm talking about when I say high production.
Impact.
Impact, thank you. And LeBron James' impact ain't there. I've never seen a quote unquote superstar, one of the best of all time, go out there and play. I can't even say play because I feel like I'm lying to people. Be on the defensive end because he's not playing defense as bad and lackadaisical as him. When Kuzma pushed this man into the guy's shot, first off, it was funny, but at the same time, it was like he had to. And what was sad was you got this 22-year-old being a bigger leader in that moment than you, and you supposed to be the guy to carry them to the promised land. Because what he did was some leadership. Because I could see a Jordan doing that, like, get your ass over there. He pushed him into it, and guess what? He missed the shot. Like, that blows my mind that you have to be pushed into playing defense. He has played none. I could understand conserving your energy and, a little bit here, a little bit there, flash every little bit. That makes sense. I've seen him do that in the past. He has played zero defense, like none. He has played everybody like he's playing Ben Simmons every night. He's played everybody like that. It is sad, man. Like LeBron, honestly, he got to go. If you can trade him, you got to trade him. He's hurting your team, and you have too much young talent, and they good. That young talent is good. You don't waste it, man. Do
And
not.
don't waste it on a horrible free agent signing either.
Yeah, because these free agent signings, man, they a trip. And if you mess up, you will screw yourself. We've seen some terrible free agent signings throughout history. With that, we got a top 3 for y'all. Top 3 worst free agent signings across sports. Oh yeah. Sean, man, I'm gonna let you kick it off.
Hey, I got I'm gonna give you some honorable mention. This one should hit home for you. Darius Miles signed a 6-year, $48 million contract with the Trailblazers. Do you even remember him playing with Portland?
I do, and I remember it was terrible. A whole lot of people in St. Louis was trying to hype it up like he was doing something. He wasn't doing shit, and I'll be the first to admit it.
Wasn't doing nothing, man. Another honorable mention, Luol Deng to the Lakers, 4 years, $72 million. We all know how horrible that was. The man barely even played, and they finally got rid of him and ended up paying some of his contract just to get rid of him. I give you this top 3. Darryl Strawberry to the LA Dodgers.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good one.
Classic.
That's a good
5-year,
close to that one.
5-year, $20.25 million. In the first 2 seasons of that contract, the man had 10 home runs total, and with a 199 batting average. And of course, he ended up coked out again, out of the league. Number 2, I give you Albert Haynesworth. I think you might have had this one.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I thought so. Figure we'd be on the same page with that one. To the Redskins, 7-year, $100 million contract, $41 million guaranteed. First season, that was 2010, right? The 2010 offseason, the man did not come to any offseason workouts, got into it with Mike Shanahan at the time, 2010 season, he had 2.5 sacks total. By
Hold on.
2000, go ahead. Nah, let me finish. 2 more points, man. By 2011,
say the stats again, man.
That 2010 season, right after he got the big 7-year, $100 million contract, $41 million guaranteed, he had 2.5 sacks for the entire year. By 2011, he was off the Redskins and playing for the New England Patriots. By 2012, the man never played football again, out of the league. That's just $100 million to out of the league in 2 seasons after you sign 7 years. It's just crazy. Well, my number one, man, this one, it was classic because I was thinking about guys that played in Super Bowls that had a great game and then went somewhere, got completely overpaid.
I think we got the go ahead.
Larry Brown to the Oakland Raiders again.
Oh.
Oakland Raiders doing something awful. In 1995, Larry Brown was a Super Bowl MVP, got those 2 picks against the Steelers. Neil O'Donnell, still nobody knows what the hell you were looking at. But anyways, in the 3 years that he played with Oakland, the man played in 12 games in 3 years, started one of them, had 1 pick and 27 tackles in 3 years. Wow. No production. No production at all, man. Horrible free agent signing. Shout out to Zach, man. I'll be throwing a little jab.
I knew it was coming, bro. I knew it was coming. All right, look, man, that's a hell of a list. I got one for you here because my list, it's got a couple of honorable mentions similar to yours. But, man, overall, I look at this and I just said, I forgot how bad some of these were, okay? Now, I'm going to tell you right now before I even get to him, my number one is petty as hell, but he deserves it too. But real quick, man, a couple of the honorable mentions. There's 2 franchises in sports that I noticed when I was going back and looking at some of these free agent pickups that constantly showed up. One is the Raiders. So it made sense to me why Zach called me earlier nervous because he's so used to it. But then the other thing is the Redskins. They show up a lot for bad ass free agent pickups.
That damn owner, man.
Man, it's so bad, man. But I'm looking at this, and here's the kicker. So you got a guy like Adam Archuleta. He was a decent safety for the Rams, but he went to the Redskins, and they made him the highest paid safety in the history of the NFL. And then you have the Andre Rison to the Browns.
Saw that one too.
Don't even get me started on that one. Andre Rison is another thief. I would say that the Albert Haynesworth, I'm going to go ahead and drop that off my list since you mentioned it on yours. Albert Haynesworth is funny to me because I think about, and I'm actually, when this video goes up, I'm actually going to put a clip into this where it shows his effort against the Eagles. When Mike Vick was with the Eagles and Mike Vick had just became Mike Vick again. And when they were playing the Redskins, you actually see them coming back to win. They were down. They're coming back to win. And they're down on about the 10-yard line. He slips and falls off the snap. And he laid on his stomach like this the whole play. And this was a Vick at quarterback, so you know it wasn't a quick throw. He was back there running around, ran right past him, and he was still on the ground like this.
I got to see that. I believe you.
I'm going to put the clip on here, and it's hilarious because it's just like, it's so bad.
That man got paid and sat the fuck down, dog. He made us look horrible.
He's the reason why teams are so hesitant to pay these young kids that work their ass off. Because you see guys like that. But yeah, man, I would say that those are all some honorable mentions. But real quick, number 3, I'm gonna say Lawrence Phillips. Phillips. The Rams drafted him. He already, may his soul rest in peace. He already had some issues coming out of Nebraska. The Rams drafted him number 2 overall and didn't do nothing. Nothing. The man never even cracked 400 yards rushing for a season for the Rams. I don't think he had it for his career with the Rams. So it was like, yeah, he was bad enough. Then the 49ers thought, oh, well, we could fix him. Nah. Flamed out, gave that man the money for no reason. All good. Number 2. This one gonna surprise you because I think you forgot about him. Juwan Howard. My man got 7 years, $105 million.
Damn, I didn't know it was 105.
105. Juwan Howard is the epitome of a bench role player.
Garbage, man.
I would like I said, he's not number 1. He probably could be. But my number 1 is off of petty. But real quick before I go to number 1, for Juwan Howard to play the way that he played and get $105 million, that was a fully guaranteed contract. I wish I had that ability to steal like that.
Oh my goodness, man.
That's true thievery right there.
It is.
Number 1, man. Gotta go baseball. It's easy to go baseball because, they have long contracts that's guaranteed. Yeah. One thing real quick about baseball, everyone talks about how much they get paid, but if you break it down to a yearly basis, it's the same as an NFL quarterback. 25, 28, $30 million. They just get 10 years and it's fully guaranteed, but a yearly basis is the same. That's why I say that players across sports are all getting paid the same. You see the top players in the NBA getting $30 million. You see the top players in baseball getting $30 million. You see the top players in football getting $30 million. But then you have one player in baseball. 10 years, $254 million with a possibility of it jumping up to $300 million. Albert Pujols. Fuck you. Albert Pujols, man. A cart.
Yes,
a cart.
From
KC.
He
from KC.
Outside Kansas City. It's Fort Osage.
Yeah, he from Oakland or something. I don't remember.
Fort Osage.
Yeah, whatever. Albert Pujols, man. Fuck you. Because this dude left the Cardinals high and dry. Now, we bounced back because the Cardinals is a dynasty. They have that legacy of always bouncing back. They always have good management. But it took a year and a half, 2 years to bounce back. And in that time, we had to deal with the likes of the Royals getting good and hearing all this chitter chatter about who owned Missouri because you left us high and dry when you told us you was coming back. And you told us you was coming back. You didn't come back. This man left to go to the Los Angeles Angels. Same colors as the Cardinals, not quite as good. Here's what he got. 10 years, $254 million. And he started off with home run outputs with the Cardinals where he was knocking them out. I mean, there probably wasn't a better slugger in the league for a while there where this man had 47, 42 home runs, always in those 40s, 49. He led the league. He led the league in home runs, I believe, 3 times. But then he goes to the Angels. So that's why I say this is only partially petty because he kind of earned number 1 too. This man has had 17 home runs, 19 home runs, 23. He ain't did shit. You have literally just seen him. He got his check and he sat down, got fat. He ain't in shape. The man ain't doing
taking roids.
That's the thing. I don't even know if he was taking roids because he was never even smacking them like those cats that was on roids. Now, if I was to say Mark McGwire, that's a different story. He wasn't smacking it like that. He had a natural swing, Real quick, shout out to Ken Griffey Green, best swing ever in baseball. The brother had it, of course, superior. But
that's the greatest home run hitter of all time.
Not a single steroid ever taken. The man was his whole life. Swing was pure. Absolutely.
And he was hurt.
That's another conversation because I could go on about him, boy.
Let's not do that.
Yeah, he's the reason I watched baseball kid. But, man, Albert Pujols, man, you my number 1 worst free agent signing of all time because when you left, you was the man. You was coming off of another World Series title with the Cardinals. And you was the man. You was slapping balls out the park left and right. You was good on defense at first base. You ain't been shit since you left. People don't even remember that you still play. I gotta tell you, to sign for 10 years, $254 million, fully guaranteed, with the possibility of it jumping up higher, that's robbery. I have to admit, worst signing of all time. A little petty. It should have been. It probably should have been Juwan Howard, but I'm giving it to you.
Yeah, that was petty, man. That was I'm mad you left me type of shit right there. But hold up, man. Before we do anything else, dog, I do want to talk about Bobby Bonilla to play for the Mets, man. Let me tell you this real quick. I'm sure some people know. He signed with the Mets in 1998, right? After a subpar season in 1999, the Mets released Bobby Bonilla, but they still owed him $5.9 million, right? So Bonilla and his agent offered the Mets a deal. Bonilla would defer payment for a decade. So the Mets accepted it. Now, with this deferred payment for a decade, means it kicked in 2011. And by it kicking in 2011, all the interest presumed, he gets paid $1.19 million a year until 2035. They only owed him $5.9 million. So instead of paying him out then, he's going to end up getting $29.8 million. The man is going to get paid until 2035 and is sitting at home doing nothing. He is the greatest of all time, with Stephon Marbury, who was getting paid, and he was at the games and in the stands getting paid $20 million by the Knicks at a Lakers game. Like, them two, that's amazing, man. Shout out to Bobby Bonilla and Stephon Marbury.
Look, man, I definitely agree. Bobby Bonilla is probably the biggest thief of all time. Albert Pujols is going to be my number one, even though Juwan Howard is. Juwan Howard, real quick, I don't mean to go back to him, but I'm starting to be tempted to put him where he deserves. He was the first. Let me repeat this, because this shit blew me away, because I didn't know this part. I knew he got that 7 years, $100 million. He was the first NBA player in history to get $100 million deal.
Wow, are you serious, man?
He was the first in history.
Juwan Howard was sorry. He was like a little below average, but he ain't on $100. I know that. And most Juwan Howard should never get more than $3 to $5 million a year. At most.
The first in history. Wow. The Rockets gave it to him. $100 million. $100 million. That's wow.
Just not even trying, dog. Not doing your homework. I'll give you another one though. This dude got paid because he played with Michael Jordan. Jason Coffey, you remember him?
Jason
Coffey, you remember that shit?
I definitely thought you were about to say Ron Harper.
Jason Coffey. Look, hold up. Before we move on, man, Ron Harper was a beast before the injuries.
Yeah.
People forget about that. They forget about that, man. But Jason Coffey, man, I'm looking it up right now to make sure, but I believe the man got a 3-year, $34 million contract with the Bucks, and he was garbage. Like, horrible, man. I don't understand these guys. I don't understand these teams that just decide to pay guys that were on a championship team and they had a limited role and thinking they're going to come to their team and be the man now.
They think they're going to bring their championship mentality over. What they don't realize, it was the leaders who had the mentality.
All right, go get the guys that actually want it if you're going to pay somebody.
So real quick, man, before we get out of here, I'm going to give a quick update on some of the news that's coming in from the NFL. The second best slot receiver on the market, Adam Humphries from the Bucks, he got $9 million a year, so they still looking for that guy. I'm shocked he got more than Jamison Crowder, to be perfectly honest, but he got $9 million a year at 4 years, $36 million. Terrell Suggs is no longer a Raven. He is just agreed to terms with the Cardinals, which probably is a good fit for him, but he still plays well to be his age. I think he had 6 sacks last year. Tyler Kroft, tight end, he just signed with the Bills, 3 years for $18 million. I'm a little shocked on those numbers. I mean, he's a decent guy, but not that decent. Deshaun Jackson, his trade details is in. Deshaun Jackson from the Bucks back to the Eagles, where he wanted to go back. I think that's where he wants to end his career. The Eagles got him and a 2027 round draft pick. The Bucks only got a 2019 6th round draft pick. So it looks like a mutual agreement to depart. Funny thing, no more than 20 minutes after Nick Foles signed with the Jags released Blake Bortles. Get your ass out of here. So that's a quick update, real quick, on some of the free agent news. The market is definitely moving quickly, swiftly, and fast. It's gonna be interesting to see how the rest of this shake out. Of course, we still want to see where Le'Veon go. We're gonna get back with y'all later on. Real quick before we get out of here, I just gotta know what my boy got planned for this weekend. What you got going on for this weekend, Mr. Whiters?
It's my birthday, dog.
I know what you got going on for this weekend.
You're gonna have to ask my wife. She handles that.
I will ask the wife, people.
Ask the wife. I don't know.
But that's all we got for today, man. We're gonna get out of here. We definitely gonna follow along to see how everything shake out with the free agency with the NFL, and there's still plenty of more trades to come, as you know, it always happens. And then, of course, what's gonna happen with this the close out of the NBA season. Lots of stuff to look forward to, but that's all we got. We out.
All right, bro. Have a good one, man.
Yep.